All right, very good. Are we now live here, ladies and gentlemen? I see some hearts coming up. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the broadcast. Lisa's in the house. David Ballou is in the house. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Klein. Welcome. Welcome to this morning's broadcast. My name is Marvin LeBlanc, and today we're going to cover a very hot topic. And that hot topic is how boomers and millennials can work together and make bank. Because we have some serious issues out there in the workplace. Lorraine, very good. Join, very good. Where are you guys from? Please share. And if you're new, please go ahead and put down that you're new so I can welcome you to the broadcast. Also, all of you wonderful people, Philadelphia. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I've been there, not nearly enough. I'm from Asgard. Excellent. Do you guys have challenges in the workplace whereby you may be, new from Michigan? Welcome, Michigan. Michigan, if you don't know, you can always see my replays at Catch, that's Catch with a K, katch.me/Marvin LeBlanc. There's probably 40 or 50, Ringo is my dog, okay? There's probably 40 or 50 videos there that can assist you in the workplace if you're having challenges with boomers and millennials getting along productively. So I'm going to go ahead and start and get right into the content. You can see down there on your right that little Periscope man. I would be honored if you would share today's scope by clicking on that little Periscope man. Share it with other friends, neighbors, co-workers, and relatives. Also, I love the hearts. If you feel like I earned the hearts, you share those hearts. And if you don't, that's okay too. I'll get the message. One other little housekeeping item. There are many people who are brand new to Periscope, and as a result, they don't like to share anything at the bottom. Well, if you're one of those persons and you have which you might think is a stupid question, because there are no stupid questions, you can email me personally at marvinleblancspeaker@gmail.com. marvinleblancspeaker@gmail.com. Etwali is in the house. I hope you're feeling better. Anytime somebody has a root canal, they kind of got a day in there that's a little tough. Kind of get those big old Popeye chins or cheeks. Bo Films is in the house. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning, Fish Susan. Excellent. I'm so glad to see you guys. We're not slaves for bankers. Very good. Hi. Okay, so what's the precedent of this morning's scope? Well, as you know, I do marvelous performance schools around the country. You may or may not know, and the constant challenge I have a school that's coming up Saturday morning, and what we have is entrepreneurs that are baby boomers that are hiring millennials, and so there's a challenge. I'm gonna teach you, baby. You're gonna learn something today, Etwale. Yeah, baby. I'm gonna teach you how to make some bank. Because we all need each other. And as you see, I'm a little goofy and I have a little fun. Because if you're too damn busy to laugh, then you're too damn busy. Okay? So laughter is serious business. That's the first lesson. Laughter is serious business. So here's the deal. If you're a boomer and you're running an organization of millennials, the first lesson you have is you have to lower your expectations as to how many hours those millennials are willing to work. Now, don't get all confused with me. I didn't say that millennials won't work. What I said is that millennials have a finite amount of time they're working, and then they're out of there. So in my experience, and this is just my experience, don't get anywhere near the back door of a building, an office building, at 5 p.m. when millennials are leaving. They're out of there. Boom. Did y'all catch that? Boom. Kazakhstan is in the house. Very good, both films. So they're out of there. And the reason they're out of there is because they're very confident that they have another life. And so us boomers might have come up in a climate where our businesses were our life, and that's good and bad. And so what we're trying to do this morning is to seek understanding about the millennials from the perspective of the boomers. Most millennials, and if we use the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle, I'm talking about 80% of them. I'm not talking about the other 20% that are high-powered, high leaders, high visionary entrepreneurs. I'm not talking about that. Millennials, they work smart so they don't have to work longer. Okay? I'm willing to listen to that. You see, that particular millennial that just posted that is one of those 20%. Okay, so I'm not talking about one of those 20%. If you're a 20% millennial, you have a huge opportunity and a huge challenge for the rest of your life, because you're going to have to lead an 80% group of millennials that are not going to really think for themselves other than doing the status quo. But hey, there's an advantage to that, and here's the deal. The advantage to that is they will get the work done. But you boomers out there, they're not going to get the work done in the way you perhaps might have wanted them to get the work done. So you boomers, you need to be flexible. Oh yeah, it's not all about you. You need to be flexible with the millennial, because they're not going to do it exactly like you want to do it. Now, this is worth writing down at the bottom. It's not about the right way and the wrong way. There's more than one right way. Now, in my corporate meetings, once I get them to understand that there's more than one right way, then what we're going to do is we're going to get away from, no, you're wrong and I'm right. No, I'm right and you're wrong. Well, both of you could be wrong. Both of you could be right, and there could be another right way. That's a paradigm shift that in early management in the early 80s, that mindset did not exist. If a millennial hates their job, guys, they're not going to stick with it. So a boomer in his or her day, they hated a job. They might have not even told anybody, and they would have stuck it out, okay? Millennials are not going to stick it out. They're going to find some other opportunity. Matter of fact, a millennial who's happy in their current job is still always looking for the next opportunity. It's quite fascinating. It almost kind of feels disloyal, but it's really not disloyal. It's just the way they think, okay? So you boomers out there, don't take it all personal if that millennial, oh, God, I thought she was happy. I thought he was happy, and they bolt after 2 or 3 years. If they're not happy, they're going to bolt sooner. And if they are happy, they're still going to be leaving. Okay, so embrace that. Here's the thing. Lots of times you boomer managers out there are getting down on these millennials, and it's your own fault, not the millennials' fault. Why is that? Because you are tired of looking for new help. You refuse to go look for new talent. So you think, well, I'm going to hire. Hey, Miss Klein, very good. Thanks for joining. Miss Klein, make sure you go ahead and hit that little Periscope, man, and share that with others. I would really appreciate it. I can get bored easily, a commenter says. I like to keep the passion burning. Monotone is a killer. Okay, so that's a person saying, man, I cannot stand all the mundane tasks. I mean, me personally, just to let you a little insight on me, I've been an entrepreneur for so long that, quite frankly, I'm unfit to be in corporate America. If you had to put me, if you want to keep us mentors and give us opportunities to grow, yes, we will talk about that. If you put me in a cubicle and I had to work in a corporation, man, they'd find me hung by lunchtime in a corporation. Man, it just would blow me out. I got to move. I have to be around people. I am a giver. I am a lover of people. And so I'm not going to sit there and do an algorithm. I'm just not. What's the difference between looking for more opportunity and just being a flaky employee? The difference is intent and authenticity. Your employer, if they can fog a mirror, can see how authentic you are. The employer does need to offer great opportunities for you. However, what I'm finding with the millennials that I associate with is my millennials actually can create their own opportunity inside the corporations that I own. Did y'all catch that? Okay. My best ideas right now is when I do what I call reverse mentoring. I believe it's a term that never was in existence in America until I created it. It's called reverse mentoring. In regular mentoring, you think of a younger person being mentored by an old sage. In reverse mentoring, what I have spent the majority of my time in the last 2 or 3 years doing is I go and find those young, energetic minds. And they benefit from some of my wisdom, some of my leadership skills, some of my passion, but I benefit from their perspective because the future workforce are millennials. And so if a boomer is not going to embrace the millennial workforce, the boomer is going to fast become what? Irrelevant. The boomer will become irrelevant. If you're a boomer owner and you refuse to be flexible with the millennial, you will soon become extinct. Yep, you'll be toast. Hello, Desired Extension. Welcome to the house. I also saw Kevin Arrow in the house. Kevin Arrow is somebody that you can follow who is an expert on marketing and branding. They have sales leads in their phone. So the other thing that I'm really shocked about, because millennials spend an awful lot of time with their ear and their fingers plastered to a phone. Yet, when you ask the average millennial, how many friends do you have in your phone? The average millennial is not quite, they're not really that social, okay? So they're always plugged in and they feel like you're trying to stab them in the heart if you tell them to put down their phone until they leave at 5 o'clock. But quite frankly, most millennials do not have a large social circle, and many boomers did not understand that. Also, many boomers are very confused about one thing, and that is millennials are not that tech savvy. Really? Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Tech savvy is different. Kevin Arrow, what's a boomer? A baby boomer is a generation that was born between 1946 and 1964. And Kevin, what we're talking about is boomer managers such as myself that lead organizations and own organizations have to be more adaptable and flexible with millennials. And millennials are those people that are in their early 20s right now, and they're in the workplace. And what my point is that boomers who are inflexible, that refuse to see really where the millennial is coming from, is missing a huge opportunity. Quite frankly, the boomer leader needs to have some millennial managers on their team, because it's the millennial managers that are going to allow the organization to move forward. Where the millennials are weak is that they are weak in leadership. They are weak in negotiating conflict. They are weak in human relation skills. So, wow, what an opportunity. If a boomer grew up with a whole lot of nurturing and love and looking a man in the eye, yes ma'am, no ma'am, high structure, great leadership skills, self-confidence, these are all things that a millennial needs to learn. So it's a perfect match if both parties understand each other, meaning the boomer is going to have to bend and understand, and also the millennial is going to have to bend and understand. And when that happens, it is a business marriage made in heaven. Thanks so much for your comments, and I really appreciate the hearts, guys. Please don't forget to go ahead and click on that Perry Man, especially so that others can be invited into the broadcast. I welcome the replay viewers, because you guys are growing in leaps and bounds, and I'm fully understanding that it's difficult sometimes when you're working. You can't catch the live broadcast. So that's just the way that the world works. So these are some ideas that I had wanted to share with you. And so what about you? Do you spend much time with millennials if you're a boomer? Reggie, if you're a millennial, do you actually spend time trying to understand what those boomers are thinking? Because I think, okay, so you're 38, all right, so you're kind of a tweener there. You're not, you weren't born from 46 to 64, so you're kind of in between. So you might have an excellent perspective, simply because you're not a boomer, but you're not one of those young 20-somethings. Vish, for your home, you spend time with both. What's been your perspective? Ringo, tell me about your experience. What's your opinion of the millennials? Welcome, Vish. Is certainly different. Yes, the landscape is this. Okay, so she manages a big team, he or she. They're all about 21. Yeah, I have found that millennials, could do a lot better in listening. But I'll be honest, when I was in my 20s, I could have been a hell of a lot better listener too. So maybe that has to do with all generations. You work 9 to 5 in production that was more physical. Do you guys see, thanks millennials be my customers, so I need to understand them. Yes, I try to learn discipline from boomers. This Etoile Falante is a very unique individual. She is going to do amazing things. She is what Malcolm Gladwell, if you haven't read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, you need to read the book. Etoile is a 20-something year old outlier who is going to affect the world community in unbelievable ways. So she's blessed with not only being a boomer, not only understanding the technology, she was blessed born with a kind, loving heart. And so she's one of those 20%ers that are going to lead the world of the other 80% boomers. So that's a key thing. Open your mind and you will open your sails. You see, these boomers, there's a ton of boomers out there. And so what David Ballou is talking about is, man, you have the opportunity to go associate with people your age, but you got to go and do it. Sometimes what we see in the boomers is a reactive, recessive personality versus is proactive versus showing that initiative and that creativity. The other thing I've seen, I never really remembered boomers being tired. And I see a lot of these young 20-something-year-olds, they can't rock and roll till late at night. They can't go out and then show up early in the morning. They're kind of a tired, unenergetic group at times. And heck, man, they ought to be able to keep up with me, right? Well, maybe not. That's a different story. But they are used to having people come in, whether it's in an office or on a production line. So so there again, it's more a reactive recessive is how I'm seeing it. From a market, what's the number one way of connecting with millennials as a brand? Okay, well, what's working for me with millennials connecting as a brand is allowing that millennial to be a part of the conversation in any project that's being created. I do not believe that a boomer should get in the shoulding game. You should do this. You should do that. No one wants to be should on. By show of hands, does anybody likes to be should on? No, we don't want to be should on. So what I'm trying to say to you is to ask questions and allow those boomers to empower themselves to come up with projects. So if it's in marketing, okay, what do they want to do? Where do they feel most comfortable building their visibility? Where do they feel most comfortable building their credibility? Okay, so they might have a circle of friends. They may be pet lovers, and so they go put on and creating an event around pet lovers. I was recently talking to a millennial who's from Houston, Texas. They put on an event, or actually they were at an event, and it was a pet event, and 28,000 people showed up at this pet event, and they were the only company in that industry that was over there. Now, their company was really not that aligned with pets, but he happened to have pets. He happened to love pets. He had his pets there. Everybody had the same interest. It was pets. And so as a result, he was crushed with leads. Okay, so think out the box a little bit. What's happened is the old spray and pray. You have a great boomer as a boss, and the bottom line is that you need a boomer who you trust. Yes. Here's the other great thing that Etwale just brought on about trusting the boomer. The boomer gains more respect by being vulnerable. Okay, so this whole boomer attitude of perfectionism, okay, is stupid. Okay, man, I make more mistakes than you can count. But the reason why I'm exceptionally successful is I will try 10 ways and 5 of them won't work, and so 5 will. Well, if you try 5 ways and 3 works, I'm going to beat you because I outworked you and I tried other things. That is really the challenge that boomers have sometimes if they let their ego get in the way. So I want to wrap up by saying that if you're a boomer, give those millennials a chance. You need to understand where the millennials have come from. If you're a millennial, don't give up on the boomer and don't get offended whenever they can't understand why you're so much younger and you can't outwork them. I love the fact that you cherish relationships, Ringo, people, connections, more than just a sale, not as easily to measure. Correct. In the world of sales, I want to leave you with one thought. Loosedale, Mississippi, man, that's some good game hunting up there. Here's the thing I want you to remember about sales. The world has moved away from what I call spray and pray. And when I'm talking about spray and pray is you just call a whole bunch of people and you got commission breath and you're kind of throwing up all on them because all you care about is why would you buy why won't you buy my product? I can talk a little bit about real estate in a second. And now we've moved away from spray and pray. What is working for us is what I call permission-based marketing. And that is, today, for instance, I come to you from an approach of service. I want you to have a connection and understand just a little bit better the relationships between baby boomers and millennials, spray and pray, versus permission-based marketing. Now, those that have followed me, and there's been a bunch of new ones, this has been a great scope today. You'll understand that I'll continue to bring content. Usually I try to broadcast twice a day, and usually it's less than 20 minutes. But today there's been a great vibe with a lot of great questions. And so I'm spending more time today interacting with these great followers because I think the other reason is they probably are having some challenges with the differences between baby boomers and millennials. And so I encourage you to continue to follow me. And I encourage you to stay open. And I want to give you a little homework. Who can you get into a reverse mentorship relationship with? Where if you're older, who is it that's younger that you can look at them as a mentor? Because I'm looking for young people that they can mentor me. I missed your quote there, David, something about sales. Awesome homework assignment. Throw yourself in their shoes. If you cultivate a real relationship and get to know a person, you will discover their needs. Do you think it's corny if a boss sits for an hour with a team member and ask them to create a vision board? Because I don't. Okay? How are you going to work with a team member when you don't even know what their world is? You don't know what it's like maybe to, you're not a single mother, for instance, with two young boys and a not so quality dad. Okay? So what is her world like? Because once we can take care of their need, then the organization is going to prosper. Ringo says, I encourage a boss to ask questions and connect on that level with any of their employees. Yes. See, there's a lot of bosses that won't listen. And one of the reasons the bosses won't listen is because they think their way is the only way. And that's not going to make it moving forward, folks. Listen. It doesn't matter whether I like this or not. I'm just seeing. I go all over America. It doesn't work that way anymore, okay? The power is in the individual. And for my organizations, what I want to do is I want to empower each of my people to be their own profit centers. Okay, so it doesn't always have to be my goal. Quite frankly, let's just all work for you. We can make that happen. We can make that happen. It's all about collaboration, folks. And it's also about whatever product or service that you're offering. Okay, first of all, some people can do this. I can't. I can't sell a product or service that I don't believe in. I had an old roommate back in college. He wanted me to go sell industrial valves. And I believe him. I would have been great at selling industrial valves, except for one thing. I hate chemical plants. I hate industrial valves. So if I'd have made a six-figure income and I'd have had to go into those concrete jungles every day, oh my God, gag me with a spoon. That's not for me, right? Even if it would have been great money, that's not for me. Oh man, Ringo, you're hitting on it right there. A big pet peeve old Ringo has there is when bosses always emphasize the mistakes. We need to be open-faced communication. Ringo, you've hit on one of my pet peeves. I have language in my office. Organizations need good leaders to deploy and foster powerful team building. You know, organizations are having trouble keeping quality leadership. And primarily because of the digital revolution, a lot of quality leaders that worked for large corporations said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go build my own mousetrap. I'm going to go live 6 months in the mountains and then 6 months on the coast. I'm going to run my corporation digitally, and I'm not going to be involved in all that corporate bureaucratic bullshit. That's what's happening in America, guys. The power is not in the large corporation. The power is in Periscope. The power is in you. The power is having the willpower and the courage to share your message and build your tribe of people and help that tribe get what they want. That is where the power is. I want you to understand that this Periscope format right here is literally your own TV broadcast. Are you getting this? So if you got yourself organized, how else can you start a business with virtually no capital that you could start a business on Periscope? And if you actually are on Periscope for 30 or 40 broadcasts, millennials are amazing. They learn a lot from it. Building tribes by using technology is what I think the essence of what one person said now. Barler Drew, welcome. Drew, although you're late to the telecast, the broadcast, you're not too late for going to the replay at catch.me /MarvinLeBlanc. Vish for your home says most of the time people don't speak because of fear or negative consequences in an organization. And that's terrible. That's terrible. That's why I have a job. Okay? Think about it. I speak on leadership. What is a topic more popular than leadership conflict, teamwork conflict, and how to build sales in your organization? Those topics are not going away. And so why I'm different is I'm actually an entrepreneur that professionally speaks. So I'm not just a voice piece that just goes up and does the same death by PowerPoint every time. That's not who I am. I also personally coach salespeople and business owners so that they can work smarter, sell smarter, and live longer. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up right now because one of my virtual assistants is on the broadcast, and she keeps me in line. And we have a system whereby we don't want to stay online too long. But I love y'all, and so I hate saying goodbye. I do believe I'm going to have a little bit time tonight to share again. But Ringo, I have thoroughly appreciated your comments. Long hours, burned out, emphasis on flaws. You see, the burnout usually comes because they never were in love with the work. We got to find a way to have love when we work. We have to find a way to have fun at work, okay? So I'll do some goofy stuff to kind of break it up if things get too tense. You got to break it up a little bit. Thanks for the hearts. Tap, 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 tap. I appreciate it so much. Hey, I know your name's not Daniel, because I've seen you last night, but I appreciate you stopping in, and man, this is going to be a worthwhile scope to go back to and look. Matter of fact, if I were you, if you're struggling with millennials versus boomers, make sure, hey Ringo, look me up, Ringo. I have lots of different opportunities, and I never say no to talented, high energy people. But my best ideas, Ringo, are probably going to come from you. Okay, so that's how we do it. So I'm signing off. My name is Marvin LeBlanc. You can see me at Google. I'm a best-selling author. I'm a professional speaker. I'm an insurance entrepreneur licensed in the state of Louisiana, and I am so thankful for your time and all of your wonderful comments this morning. It has been fantastic. I wish you peace, I wish you love, and I wish you gumbo. Goodbye from South Louisiana, from Marvin LeBlanc, the Cajun Rambo. And yes, I do speak in Birmingham, Alabama. It's one of my favorite places to go because I have a personal friend that lives less than an hour and a half from Birmingham. Yes, I do. Thank you, guys. Please email me if you want it, marvinleblancspeaker@gmail.com, and we can keep the conversation going. I believe in you. Be marvelous today. Bye-bye.